Do you believe everybody is born equal? If there's 8 people waiting in line for one kidney transplant, and there's only one kidney in line to be given to those people, how would you decide who gets the kidney? Well, that was the case study we had to think about last night. The 8 people vary in range from age, walks of life, medical compatibility. So, how would you go about it? I thought about it as okay, this is America. In our medical field, we always think what is going to be the most viable match, right? So I kind of thought about that as first. And then what kind of effect will that bring to the person receiving that kidney? So someone who's receiving at, let's say, age 5 is going to use a lot more of that kidney than someone receiving at age 55. But what about all those people with similar backgrounds? And then what would be your next deciding factor? You could think of things like, what have they done in the past to land themselves in the situation? Were they responsible personally to getting this into this hole? Or in the future, how much good can they do to the human race? So these are a bunch of factors that we talked about in our case study today. And the professor actually confirmed a lot of the things that we were saying. However, before he did this, he divided us into these 8 groups. And each of us had to advocate for one of these 8 recipients. I personally I think my recipient was ranked 2nd or 3rd in my own personal preference. But when we advocated for him, I thought right away, wow, this guy has a lot of really good reasons to receive this kidney first. So I put him at first. I think tomorrow or later this week, we're going to find out whether this was the case for a lot of other people. But what the professor was trying to teach us was something called the advocacy effect. You're more likely to believe someone's perspective when you fight for them, when you try to support them. So I am not the biggest fan of social justice warriors. Last semester, when I was here at Columbia University in Teachers College, I wanted to attend a lecture by the not so popular feminist Christina Hoff Sommers. So my best friend here and I, we talked about what kind of polarizing effect this speaker would have on the Columbia University campus. And sure, we were right in our expectations, because so many people took down all the flyers we had around campus within, I think, like 18 or 24 hours, something crazy like that. They put up like 20 flyers. I think by the end, perhaps half of one was remaining, because whoever tore that down, I guess, got too lazy. They couldn't even tear it down all the way. And this exactly proved Dr. Summers' point about silencing free speech for the sake of keeping people in a safe space. So this idea of being politically correct is, I would personally think of it as a plague that's spreading amongst all college campuses in America. Fortunately for us here at Columbia Business School, it's not much of a thing here, or it's significantly less of a thing. I guess for people who are used to working in the business world, we like to call things as they are. We're grounded in reality, not the ideal perfection utopia that we all dream to be. This dose of reality, and I guess being more aware of the advocacy effect, made me realize this afternoon, right after lunch, we had IBS. No, not irritable bowel syndrome. It's called Individual Business Society. That's basically CBS's version of a business ethics introduction. So earlier last week, we talked about a case where someone who was new to working abroad in this one branch of her company, oil company actually, tried to blow the whistle when she saw a mysterious $5 million transaction in her company budget. So people were saying, okay, is this potentially a bribe to the government? And I'm thinking today, after we talk more about this case and more about the way the petroleum company does business in this foreign land, what kind of things actually go into a successful collaborative relationship between a foreign government and an international corporation? Well, there's so many things involved, such as the environment, the native people, and getting government revenue. So to get the government to buy in, many governments in the world, including our own here in America, we have taxes. Well, isn't that in a way taking a huge fee from a corporation? How is that much different from a bribe? So you can think of it as a bribe to one person, maybe unproportionately benefiting that one person. Whereas if you call it something else, you call it a tax to the government, you don't really know who's taking that money. You know the government's taking it, but it could be benefiting the whole entire population or simply that one person receiving the money. We don't know, right? We have to keep in mind that in differently governed countries, there are different practices, and we can't just judge everyone's actions through our own lens. Now, of course, I could be proven wrong, because I think next week we're going to be talking about the Corrupt Foreign Practices Act that the American government has implemented on multinational corporations to prevent them from doing shady business deals like this, even if it's abroad. So the idea in the end is to make things fair for as many companies as possible. However, although every human being should be given an equal opportunity at life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, I don't believe, because of our genetic differences and everything that you're born into, depending on what your environment is, there is no possible way that everybody in the world can be equal. Obviously, the people who are more successful, and in today's standards, that means more capable of making money, are the ones that are going to thrive more. So in a similar way, going along the same logic, the more successful corporations are the ones that are willing to grab these opportunities when they show up. Going along the same lines, successful people are the ones that also grab their opportunities when they get that chance. They use everything they have to their advantage. All these privileges we talk about in the current PC culture, I definitely use some of those to my advantage, and I'm proud of it. I don't think I should apologize for anything that I have as an advantage over other people, because if you make everyone equal, you basically just have to hammer everybody down. A great story I read about this in a, I guess, dystopian society, keeping everyone down to the same base equal level, was the story Harrison Bergeron by Kurt Vonnegut. You guys should go read it if you have a chance. Alright, I'm finished talking about what I learned today and wrapping up everything together and integrating everything into one. I think I'm getting better at this, huh?